Good afternoon, Big Brother fans. It is Friday, May 8th, and you haven't heard from me for over a month on this channel, podcast, yada yada, whatever you want to call it. My apologies. A big chunk of that's been because I haven't been driving much. I've been working from home, and I will be still working from home until July, as of the last notice that we got. So I'm not going to be in my car as much. And when I have been in my car, I'll be honest, it's kind of been unfaithful to you guys. Some of you certainly know it. I've been periscoping when I drive, and I'll tell you why. Because I get live interaction with people when I do that. I can actually see responses, and so, you know, when you're pretty much isolated from everybody, a one-way medium like this is not as fulfilling short-term as Periscope is. So I've been periscoping. However, I did Periscope earlier today on my drive in to run some errands, and I thought, you know what, I'm doing this because I owe you guys, and I want to catch you up on what I have been up to and what is going on in the world of reality TV or reality games, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure some of you know what I'm going to talk about, and so we will get to that. Now, there will be a couple of pauses in this as I sorry, this is the driving, this is the distraction, as I have to run into a store here one time. Am I going to run into more than one store? I'm trying to think of what I need. I know what I need. So one of the things I've been doing in my downtime, and I will get to talking about Big Brother, Survivor, and Sequester Access is the thing that I'm probably going to be rambling on about for a long time about yet in a bit here. But I will note the reason I am stopping at a store is to see if they have ginger, which I know they have, and I think coriander. Yeah. So I've started planting herbs. So those of you that know and have followed along, I've done some brewing, and I'm still doing that. I did the mead, mead, M-E-A-D, that I think is going to be really good in like 6 months or so. I've done a beer that I wasn't happy with. I've done a wine that was okay. I've done some apple ciders that are, they're okay. They're definitely alcoholic. You can get really drunk off of them. I just don't know if I've been super happy with the flavors, but I think the mead is going to be a good one. So I've done that. I've done the sourdough thing. I killed my starter because I was like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. And then I redid my starter, and so now I've got a starter that I have to keep feeding all the time. And I'm like, do I really want to do this? But I still want to make something with it, so I keep feeding it. Then I did ginger. I fermented ginger, a ginger bug. Made this like fermented ginger drink, which is not really alcoholic, but is bubbly, and I forgot how hot peppery ginger is, and it really is. It's kind of an interesting root / spice / whatever you want to call it. But that led me to wanting, because ginger ain't cheap, to grow my own ginger. It's like, wait, you can grow ginger. Now, I don't think I'm going to ever have a full crop or something, but I thought, I want to try it. I want to plant something. I like to see something grow, and God knows I'm stuck at home. I think some of this stuff, someone was analyzing why people are getting into all this stuff, and there's lots of different reasons, but I do believe that part of it is about control. You feel you have control over, if I'm doing plants, I'm controlling them. I can control them. I'm brewing something. I have a control over that process. And so it's kind of nice to have some control. So I thought, I'll do some ginger. And then I was like, well, we have mint at home planted out, and mint grows like a weed. But occasionally my wife will buy like live, other herbs live. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to do the herb thing. So last week, or earlier, I guess midweek, I went to the store and they have the live herbs growing. It's like, all right, I bought pots of lives, and I bought bigger pots to put them in. So I've got a bunch of herbs that are going to be growing all summer, or at least until I go back to work and neglect them and they die. And the ginger, I'm trying to get some ginger going, but I read about ginger. It's like, it turns out that with a lot of ginger, they spray it so that to inhibit it producing roots, which is, well, so that you can't grow ginger from a store-bought ginger if it's been sprayed. And I'm not sure if mine has or not. So I'm going to stop in this store to see if they have organic ginger or not. And then one of the other plants I did was cilantro, which after I got it in the plant form at the store, and it's growing. But then I read about it. It's like, oh, it's a really short-lived plant. And so it's like, oh, it's not something you grow all summer. To me, at least it looked like. And so I want to get the seeds to try growing cilantro as well. And it turns out that is coriander. Didn't know that. Didn't know coriander was really cilantro before it's cilantro. So I'm going to see, but you go to the store and you don't find coriander seeds or coriander as a thing. But I'm going to Whole Foods kind of a place here, and I'm going to see if they have it. Because if any place is going to have it in town other than a garden shop, a Whole Foods kind of a store might have it. So I'm going to check it out, check out their ginger. But their ginger isn't advertised as organic, but I'm going to see if I missed maybe the organic ginger somewhere. That's what I'm up to. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to come back, and I won't be talking about this anymore. I'll start talking about reality stuff once I'm back. All right? Talk to you in a couple minutes. You won't notice. There'll won't be much of a pause, but I am going to pause it right here. All right, I'm back. So, turns out there was organic ginger. I just wasn't looking in the right place. So I suspect the ginger that I have sitting at home in a little thing of water, hoping to see some sprouting develop, ain't ever going to happen. So I'll need to pull that ginger out and dry it off and use it for something else. That's okay. I got some organic ginger. Now I can try planting it, although they didn't have coriander anywhere that I could see. Now I can stop talking about that stuff, and I can talk about other things. So let's hit the Big Brother Survivor talk first, because I know the majority of what I'm going to talk about is going to be related to the show Sequester, the online show Sequester. Big Brother, don't have any news. Don't know what's going on. I posted a comment about it. Somebody said that we're going to find out on the 19th, maybe. I don't know. That's not what I've heard, but this person may know something I don't know, and sometimes you get those randomness. I did poll my followers on Twitter to see if anybody knew anything that was being potentially cast. Now, this is a good faith thing. This is a thing where it's like, well, I'm trusting that the people contacting me, anybody in the world could say, oh yeah, I'm in the finals to be on this year's show. Da, da, da. They could tell me that. I try to read through the level of what people try to tell me. I got a few responses, and the gist of the responses, plus I said I would be total. I'm not revealing any of these people, even if I know, even though they're on the show, I'm not going to say they contacted me before and they're the one that told me this. Nope. This is all completely. I will not reveal my contacts as far as their connections if they end up being on the show. But what I heard was it's on hold. Everything's on hold as far as the process. There's no, the casting is not, whether the casting was complete or not, it probably wasn't, but, because we know it ends up being a last minute thing, a week or, less sometimes. But even if it was complete, it's not, there's no news. They don't know anything. But I don't think the casting was complete, and I think, frankly, they just don't know anything. It's all up in the air. So, we have to wait and see what happens. And that's all we can do. I don't know whether it'll be, there's all kinds of mixed things. They aren't going to do one this year. And then, they're going to do it in the fall. And, they're going to do it then. We don't know. I mean, my speculation was they might do one starting, when the last time we talked about it was like, well, maybe they'll do it in August or July, late July or August. And at that time, those times seemed somewhat reasonable as potential. I would say now, late July, I would say probably not. Maybe August still, maybe. And what makes me think that maybe still is only because Survivor, the other show that I said I would talk about, CBS just announced that Survivor and a bunch of other shows were going to be back for the fall. Now, that means a couple of things. First of all, that means that they're planning on getting some shows taped and recorded and in the air. Most of those shows probably don't have at least a full season set up yet. Survivor doesn't have anything yet. We have the deadline. There were several different reporting outlets that reported it, but I cited a deadline. The Deadline? What's the name of the site? Anyways, I cited a news article that was posted back in March that explained that they had stopped any production for 41, for Survivor 41 back in March. So it was on hold. I don't know if they even got anything done yet. I think they had it cast, but the cast had not started filming. So obviously they're intending to go back out and record this thing and get it done. So that to me is like, all right, well, it's a possibility then that there's going to be shows getting recorded and done for the fall. And if they can do it for Survivor, why can't they do it for Big Brother? Now, of course, the argument there would be, well, Big Brother's 100 days or 90 days or 80 to 100 days, whereas Survivor is 39 days. So they don't need as much time for Survivor. Excuse me while I clear my throat. That's been bugging me. All right, I think I got it better. Apologies for the little groans as I kept trying to get some stuff out of my throat. So we don't know what's going on with Survivor. We don't know what's going on with Big Brother. But again, my hope is still that they can throw something together before, and not lose an entire year, if they're going to do it at all. There's the other part of me that's like, okay, fine, no Big Brother this year. But I know there's a lot of people that still want Big Brother, and so I'm not totally opposed, and I certainly will be in for it. But if it doesn't happen, my world's not over. It's just going to be different. And speaking of how my world could be different, that brings me to my final topic, and the one I will talk about the most for, and I'm going to guarantee you I'm probably going to talk for the next 10 or 15 minutes about this. Sequester. Now, what happened between the time I last talked to you and now? Well, there was this show 3 weeks ago that was promoted. There was an announcement that Audrey from Big Brother 17, if you remember, she who wrapped herself in a blanket and hung out in the have-not room and then slept in the diary room and all kinds of, had just kind of a mental shutdown on Big Brother 17, was not very impressive as a contestant. She has been doing this show called, an online show called Sequester, for several years, I believe. I think she was doing it before she got in on Big Brother in some form. She's had this idea of it, and she's had different variations, and she still has different variations. One variation was, and this is the variation that I first heard of that it didn't interest me very much, was people would come on, you sign up. I thought, this sounds cool, I might try this out. And then I heard what the requirements were. And the requirements were that you'd have to be available for 2 hours a night for at least a week, if not longer. Well, I can't say for sure that I'm going to be available for 2 hours. For me to set aside 2 hours every night for a solid week that's pushing it. That's pushing my goodwill for my wife when it comes to my obsession with reality TV, Big Brother-ish kind of things. And so I never even entertained that. And I didn't try to watch it because I thought I can't keep up. There's too much. It's 7 days or 6 days or whatever it is of a show. I can't do it. So I kind of that went by the wayside, didn't pay attention to it that much. And then she did a thing which was I think people would fly in for the weekend at some place, some location, and do a weekend version of Sequester. Now, Sequester has Big Brother elements, kind of Survivor elements, those kind of things. And I'll explain it more in a second. For those of you that follow me on Periscope, you're going to hear it for the millionth time. But I hadn't done it on here, and there are people that can only listen to me on here. So, it's kind of got Big Brother elements. It's kind of got a little bit of Survivor elements. It's kind of got some unique elements. I mean, Audrey's plan, I believe, is to try to get somebody interested in turning this into an actual money-making proposition. Right now, she's putting a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it, along with other people that support her. And you just sign up for it, and you can play it. Now, you have to be a member of the Patreon that they have for Sequester. But again, once you've done that, then hey, in theory, you can just have at it. And that's what people have been doing. And I can't even tell you how long the Sequesters, this newer thing has been going on for. But this new thing, so the weekend thing, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead of myself. The weekend thing, there's like 3 seasons. Like Judd from Big Brother 15 was on it. There's been others from other seasons. I can't even tell you exactly who all has been on the online version or the YouTube version that's out there that you can watch. It's at Sequester Access, I think, is the web. If you search for that on YouTube, you should be able to find it. I haven't watched them yet. Maybe I will, but I haven't yet. But again, I'm not interested. I wasn't that interested in that kind of a thing. It's like I'm not interested in reality shows that don't have that, except for Survivor. I'm still giving a go-to every once in a while. But if it doesn't have some kind of, the live feeds is what just has always drawn me to Big Brother. So that YouTube version, not so much. Finally, though, I hear about this Sequester Mini thing. And what a Sequester Mini is it's a one-night thing. And somewhere between 18 and 20, I think usually about 18 people play the game. They just play from their house. They play with their web camera. You log in, and there are several rooms. Think of it as you're all moving into a house. You're moving into an online community of chat rooms, video and speaking chat rooms. And over the course of the evening, if you think of the evening as an entire season, over the course of that season, everybody gets evicted until you get down to the final 2, and then there's a jury of 7 that votes for the winner. Okay, there's no prize involved here, by the way. I would imagine that in Audrey's vision, in the end, there would be a prize that would be available, but that's going to take money and backing and all that kind of stuff. So for now, it's just the glory of I'm a winner, which is a pretty big thing if you think about you're weeding yourself out from 18 other people. And it definitely does take some skill to play this game, and to play it well. So, you start out with the 18, let's say 18, and the easiest way is to give you an example. And I just did this on Periscope today for my friend John and the people that were on the Periscope. The easiest way is just to give you a sample of the way the first few rounds goes, okay? The first round usually is just a free-for-all. Just, you're in your room, in your chat room. There's 5 rooms. There's a limit, usually. Again, these are all variables that can be changed at Audrey's whim. So you never assume that the way things are going to play, because if she starts to see people gaming the system or that he figured out a way to cheat, she's going to change it. And she is the, she makes all the rules. She is the head person in charge. I'm not going to use a slang word for. I think of what my coworker that does a lot of our work calls herself, but I will not call Audrey that. So the first round, it's a free-for-all. So you've got 18 people, and between the 18, they've got to come up with somebody they want to get rid of, and do it without that someone. Well, I mean, they may know their names being mentioned. They probably will figure it out pretty quick. It seems to me that by and large, they go with the people that kind of stick out, that aren't like everybody else. And that can come into play. I look at it from my perspective of, okay, if I were to play this, I'm going to be the oldest person in the room. Is that going to make me stick out? Potentially. However, having watched several of these, some of the other tendencies that make people stick out is that their introduction video was boring. They didn't seem very lively. And so, that's the way you could potentially save yourself. So that's what happens. Names get thrown out. The rooms are usually limited to 5 people at a time. There's a moderator in each room. There's someone that's sitting in the chat room, and they're like, there's 5 people here. Go ahead and talk. The second a 6th person tries to come into the room, the moderator says, you guys got to stop talking. No talking, no strategizing when there's more people in the room than are allowed. And so it can be an awkward moment where no one can talk. Of course, some things get said when people accidentally come into a room, so you can be talking about someone and they show up. But they'll wait until it's down under the limit again, and then you can resume strategizing and talking. So there's a lot of that goes on. It goes on for about 10 minutes. And at the end of 10 minutes, Audrey comes on and says, all right, everybody just stay in the room you're in right now, and I'm going to need you to vote. And you submit your votes to Audrey via chat. There's no public viewing of the votes. You really don't know who voted or how. But remember, this is live. So she will say, all right, here's the vote. And, by a vote, not by a vote of, it's just so-and-so, you've been eliminated. Doesn't say how many votes, just says you've been eliminated, you're out. Thanks for playing. Hope you can do better next time, maybe, and blah, 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 blah. So, that person leaves. Now you're down to 17. Now, actually, what usually happens, what I've seen happen most of these games that I've watched, is that Audrey will say to that person, only the first person that's evicted usually, all right, you do get to name 5 people to be nominated for the next round. And Audrey will name, or the person will say before they leave, they say, all right, I'm going to nominate blah, 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 blah. Sometimes it's a random selection of who they nominate, people that they didn't see while they were going from room to room, name people they didn't meet. And so that'll be the next round. Those 5 people are nominated. Now they have to scramble and try to save themselves, and then Audrey will do another vote. You get the point here? There's elimination. The one round is she'll spin a wheel, and a person will be safe. And that person, whoever name it lands on, that person is the first person safe, and they get to pick the next person safe. And then that person picks another person until you get down to 3 people, with the one safe person picking between the final 2 people. And the one they don't pick is gone. All right? That's another sample. Every round seems to have a twist to it. Or there may be just a straight up round. But mostly it's a twist, or there's a way to get people nominated, or a way to go through the process. Now, there is also a way to be safe. Okay? Now, you can't call it an immunity idol, right? Because that's a Survivor thing. And there is no power of veto, by the way. There's none of that going on. And there's no head of household, unless you consider the person that gets to pick safe like a head of household. But she's not going to use any of those words. It's going to be all other plays on words. So, how are you going to be able to get the equivalent of immunity? Well, she calls it the Lotus of Salvation, right? It's LOS. Lotus of Safety. Lotus of Safety, I'm sorry. I know it is an LOS. And what the LOS is basically it's a get-out-of-jail-free card. And you can play it right when you make your voting, I think. I think you can play it when the voting happens. And if you've played it, any votes against you don't count, just like Survivor, all right? Or let's say with the safety one, if you're, because there's no specific voting, if someone chooses to pick you, if you're the last one not picked, you could say, I'm using my Lotus of Safety, and actually then it evicts the person. It doesn't evict the last person before you. It evicts the last person to make the choice. It's kind of a nasty come back in your face. Now, I don't know what would happen if that person too had an LOS. That would be interesting. I don't think we've seen that happen yet, but there's things that happen with tie votes and kind of things, a little bit of twists and stuff. Audrey works them all out and tries to be as fair as possible. That's the best you can do. So, that's the Lotus of Safety. Now, how do you earn that? Well, the first couple weeks that I watched, the way you earned it was Audrey would say the first person to message me via the chat thing after this will win it. And she would say right now, and then of course everyone hits enter, and it's the luck of the draw and who gets it. She came up with a new twist last week, and that is she puts a little red, or there's a YouTube channel that's constantly playing the leaderboard, and you see who's on it. Plus it shows the wheel when she spins it. So that leaderboard has everybody's pictures on it and what their status is. She is taking a little graphic and dropping a little green dot somewhere on that map during different rounds. And the first person to message her when that green dot appears wins. So you got to watch that board and see what's going on, and then be on the trigger and be ready to message Audrey. And if you win on that Lotus of Safety, you've got it. You can have as many as you can win. I don't think she does them every single round, so they're not always there, and it could happen anytime during the 10-minute gap. There's all kinds of weirdness of that, which is great. It's like a hidden immunity idol. You got to know when to look. Are you going to play the game? Are you going to watch? Are you going to look for the hidden immunity idol? Which are you going to do? Because it's kind of hard to do both at the same time. That is that. So you get down to the final 9, all right? And from then on, people that are evicted, up until that, you're just done. You're gone and done. After that, you're in the jury. And if you get evicted, you go to a different chat room or something, and you can hang out and wait for it to be the final two. There's also the thing called a dragging, which I think is related to maybe RuPaul's Drag Race. Maybe, I don't know. I've never watched that. But when you're evicted or voted out or shunned or however you want to say it, sometimes, and it's announced at the beginning of the round, you have the chance to pull someone with you. Okay? So, and you can still save yourself with an LOS then as well. So if you're getting dragged, you're done. You're out of the game as well. So sometimes there are 2 evictions in one round because someone gets dragged. So there's another twist that's slightly different. And it's fun, except for the person gets dragged. I believe that's not what happened to Andy. So there's the rules of the game. And this is all going on live online. It takes about 4 to 5 hours to get through on a not special night where there aren't like celebrity kind of people doing it. I think she takes a little bit longer when it's those people. But that's the process. I know I've explained a ton. And how do you watch it? You go to sequesteraccess.com. All right? That's the website, the main website. If you go there, it has the details. Now, how she has it set up is she has 5 streams on Twitch. And Twitch is the gamer streaming thing. It's like YouTube, except for usually it's all live, and it tends to be centered around gaming. But in this case, she's adapted it to fit her needs. So there are 5 virtual rooms on Twitch, and she has a website set up that has all of those rooms on one web page. All right. She also has her YouTube channel, which she does YouTube Live, and so you've got a total of 6 streams running at one time. That's a resource hog on almost anybody's system as well as their internet. So that's why, in order to watch this, you need to have a decent internet connection and preferably a computer, be it a Mac or a PC or a Linux. By the way, if you're a Linux user, I ain't trying to explain anything to you because you know more about computers than I do generally, so you can figure this stuff out. But for the Mac and the PC users, you go to sequesteraccess.com. There's information there. Now, I'm going to give you another place to go, because while Audrey has set up the website and she's reworked it recently, and it's really good, Liquidated is his name on is the user's name on Twitter, is the creator of BB Viewer. All right, and if those of you that don't know what BB Viewer is, well then, sorry, it's a really good way to watch the Big Brother live feeds. He took it upon himself to remake the Audrey's page in his own vision. So he has a website set up that does the same thing as Audrey's, but frankly, and there's no knock on Audrey, because she's still doing things a million better ways than I ever would. I couldn't do either of what these two are doing. His way is a little bit nicer, a little bit easier to maneuver, and you can actually change the windows a little bit and mute and unmute, and it's kind of cool. Now, that site is at the following URL. All right. First of all, you should just follow Liquidated, and it's liquid, the number 8, and the letter D. So Liquid8D. Follow him on Twitter. He tweets the links. Also, you should follow Audrey's Sequester Access on Twitter. Follow those 2 Twitter accounts. They tweet about this stuff. But on Liquidated's website, you can also change the videos and the views. Now, his website URL is goodies. I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to spell it out for you. And it doesn't spell like you think. goodiesforme.com/multiview. All right? Now, let me spell it out. Goodies, GOODIES, FOR .me. That is the actual main URL. Goodies4.me. And in front of that, you put a / a // which is the one that leans to the right if you're looking at it. It's usually above the enter key on your computer. And no, that's the / Forget I said that. I just remembered that's the / Anyways, goodies4.me / is what I call it. And then Multiview, Multiview. All right? If you're not sure about the slash, try one, then try the other. Now I feel dumb, and I'm not at a computer to look at it, and I'm doubting myself. So that's how you can get to his webpage to watch it. Again, doesn't work the best, at least on my iPhone. I have the newest SE, the one that just came out a couple weeks ago. I can't get it to work, either one of those websites to work very well on my iPhone. But on my computer, works great. Now, wireless connection. If you have a wireless connection at home, you may have issues. If your wireless is saturated with a bunch of people, or if you live in an area that has a really congested wireless network, like in an apartment building, you may want to plug your computer in using a wire. I know it's a foreign concept to a lot of people, but I frankly would suggest wire even your laptop directly to your router or to a switch so that you can get as strong a reception as you can, because your bandwidth over your wireless connection is not as fast usually as your network is capable of running, because wireless is just not as good as a wired network at this point. Have I gotten too techie for all of you? That's it for the tech talk, okay? I think that's about it, actually. It's fun. I have periscoped it the last... I periscoped it both nights. Last Friday and last Sunday were the two shows last weekend. I periscoped Fridays, almost the entire thing, over two different periscopes. So if you look me up on Periscope at BBGOSSIP, and you look through my history, you should be able to find the mini Sequester from Friday night of last week. Now, it's in real time. The problem with that is that it's like, the total between the two is about 4 hours. And there is a lot of downtime when you're watching this. Be aware, there is downtime, because when the votes are being calculated, when things are being figured out, everybody's just sitting around doing nothing, twiddling their thumbs, just waiting. And I understand that may seem to be like, well, I don't have time for this. But you can have a TV on in the background. You can get up and go do things. You don't have to see it all. And you can come back and you can see who's gone, or you can see what you missed. You don't have to invest. It doesn't require your sole attention. You're going to miss a lot, first of all, because you can only usually pick easily one room to watch at a time. So there's 5 rooms that things are going on. Now, you can see who are in the rooms, but you can't easily listen to all 5 rooms at the same time. So you got to pick and choose. Pick the person you like, follow that person around, or just pick the room that you like and sit there and listen to what goes on in that room. If you are like me, you may have a YouTube chat pulled up on the side, the YouTube chat that goes along with Audrey's YouTube feed, and there's a lot of people in there chatting, and they will have a commentary and telling you, oh, go check out this room real quick, because that's what's going on. That's kind of like, the live feeds, updates and stuff. They're like going, oh my gosh, this just happened. Oh, someone's saying this. And that's kind of a way where you can keep up in it. And that, again, is on Audrey's YouTube channel. She announces it, points you to it. Gosh, there's so much to tell you guys. So, there you go. How long have I been talking? Whoa, we're at 33 minutes. Wow. Show starts in 5 hours. It is on 8 p.m. tonight. All right? 8 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. And I think some of you will enjoy it. Some of you may not be able to stand it. But anybody listening to this that has made it all the way to the end of this, 33 minutes, I got a special treat for you. Something you have to keep private to yourself, all right? I got some inside information. You ready? Are you standing by? Are you okay for this? I'm on tonight's episode. Those of you that have screened and said, I want to know what you look like. Do you ever do this? No, I don't. Yes, I am tonight. I will be on tonight's Sequester playing as myself. I am not announcing myself as BB Gossip. Please don't, if you see this, don't announce that I'm going to be on it. Don't say anything, okay? I don't want it to hurt me. And I am so torn. This is the dilemma I'm at, all right? Because I'm like, I don't think any of these people I'm playing with are going to know who the hell I am. And if I were to say, oh, I'm BB Gossip, they'd go like, I don't know who that is. And they'd be like, well, you think we should know? And they'd be like, get rid of that guy. He thinks he's something special. No, I don't think I'm something special. Then there's the flip side of me that goes like, shit, somebody's going to go like, you know who that is? That's BB Gossip. We should get rid of him. Oh, I don't know what to think. I don't think I'm anything special. I don't think I deserve special treatment. And at the same time, I'm so worried that I'm going to get singled out for some stupid reason. Besides the fact that I'm going to be older than everybody in the room. All right? That's no doubt. There's no doubt I will be the oldest person playing. Most of the people playing this are in their 20s, 30s at best. That's why in my teaser video, which we'll play tonight, I say I'm 35. And I thought, I said, does anybody really think I'm saying I'm 35? Do they think I'm doing the lie, the Big Brother lie, where people lie about their age and it's so obvious. I do a lot of lies in my teaser video. By the way, there are also teaser videos at the beginning where everybody says, I'm so and so, I'm blah blah. And I watched a lot of the teaser videos, and the teaser videos like I'm Mark, and I'm 24 years old from blah blah blah. It's like, well, I'm not going to say how old I am. Are they going to say my real age? Hell no! That'd be like a big, huge target flopping. Oh, I need to do that. I was going to make a picture of a target to stick on myself at some point, if I even last more than the first round. I frankly think I'm going to go the first round. Now, with all that, I'm going to sign off now. Now you know, those of you that hung through all the way to the end, all right? Again, keep it to yourselves, please. Please keep it to yourselves. I don't want to take any weird chance that somebody's going to out who I am or what's going on. But I'm trying to give some of you guys that support me, or I already told my patron subscribers, so I have my whopping 9 patron subscribers that are my patron supporters that have supported me all the way for almost, some of them have supported me for like a year and a half. I told all of them Wednesday. And I wasn't sure, and I told a couple other people very privately. I told Scott and Colette, told John, but I haven't told really anybody else. My family knows. Well, my wife knows, because I had to make sure it was okay with her. But yeah, I'm not telling a bunch of people, and I don't want a bunch of people to know. I'll talk about it afterwards. I'm not trying to keep it a secret that I was ever on it. I just don't want to take a chance that there's any chance it screws up my chances of doing even getting past the first round. I just don't want to go out the first round. It's going to be like all this hype for 10 minutes. I don't want to hype it up and then drop off right away. All right, that's it. I'm out of here, guys. Thank you to my patrons again. You know who you are, and I will give you a shout out sometime soon. Thank you to anybody else. Anybody who wants to support me as a patron. Now, this is not the Big Brother Gossip Show patron account. That's a different one. My Patreon account, I don't even know what it is now. I think it's Big Brother Gossip. I think BB Gossip is our podcast, and Big Brother Gossip is just for me. And as I said, I have 9. Our regular one has over 100. I don't know if it has over 200 anymore, but it has over 100. So last I looked. So if you want to be a patron to support me, the levels are laid out there. It's just all about. I mean, look, I turn around and spend money on stuff. I'm supporting Sequester now, so that's part of it. I've bought audio equipment to support things. I've taken my wife out to dinner, bought a bottle of wine for her, said, "Here you go. This is from my patron subscribers." So, anyways, all right, that's it. I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm posting this. And I'll be interested to see who listens all the way to the end. You're welcome to DM me or tweet a smiley face at me or something. Or you can drop me an email, ilovereality@gmail.com. Any of that you can do today on Friday. Anybody that's hearing this on after Friday night, it's hearing it on Saturday or on Sunday, yeah, it's all over. You can say whatever you want at that point. It will have happened. That's the other worry. My worry is I'm going to have technical difficulties, not even get on. Oh my God. I can't believe I'm nervous about this, but I am. I'm completely nervous about this. All right, there you go, guys. Thanks again for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, wonderful month of May. I imagine I'll talk to you all before. I'm going to guess that I'm going to do a very long Periscope, not Periscope. I'll do a very long Carcast, where I talk about my experiences. Even if my experience is only 10 minutes, I'll still talk about it. And frankly, I have to get on an hour before, so... And don't tweet at me or anything. Don't give any inclination. I am going to be completely off social media starting at, I guess, 7 o'clock maybe, or maybe 8 o'clock. I'm not sure when I have to shut down, but I will not be talking online. I will not be looking at my phone. I will not be cheating. They think people cheat. I will not cheat. For better or for worse, I am playing this straight up. The only way, my only contact with the outside world during my time at Sequester will be via the however we're set up, which I'm not even sure how it's all going to work. I know I use Skype. That's what I know. I'll tell you guys what I learned in my experience later. Okay, I keep talking and I got to go. See ya. Bye-bye.